And it's live. Kristen Thomas here for SUP Connect. I'm back. It's a Thursday. That means I get to talk to somebody wonderful in the world of stand-up paddling. And another really special week this week. Thank you, of course, always to SUP Connect, but also to Flow World Travel. I'm co-guiding a trip down in Mexico, and we are going to be talking to someone from the lovely town that I am in right now, who has been around longer than me in the stand-up paddle world and so involved in the water in so many ways, and lots to catch up with. Fernando Stalla about. If you don't know that name, you should. If you know stand-up paddling, you should know about Fernando, and you need to know about Sayulita, Mexico, which is just a absolutely fantastic place. I couldn't help myself. The warm tropical breeze, I'm outside. I'm hoping the waves crashing right there are not too much noise. Please let me know if they are. Thanks again. If you're new, thanks for joining us for the first time, and returning people from all over the world. I just so appreciate the support. I'm still having so much fun talking to people from everywhere. Canada, who do we have today? We usually have people from multiple countries. And I know sometimes it's pretty late at night or early in the morning or even Friday. Christy, I am in Sayulita, Mexico, and we're going to be talking to Fernando Stalla. Yes, it is a wonderful place. There's Ozzy, who also lives here with his children, Puerto Rico, Javier, Paulo from Brazil. Who else do we have? Hopefully we'll have time and I'll turn around and show you this beautiful, but do let me know. Hopefully the sound of waves is peaceful to you and isn't too distracting during the interview. Australia, it's where it's Little Red Fox. It's Friday for you, isn't it? Anyway, Fernando, I know his late mother's Costa Rican, so while I think about him as Mr. Sayulita, he has lived other places, and we're going to hear about some of those. Most recently spent quite a bit of time in Tahiti, opened a new store here, and doing some exciting things. I think this is the first time we're going to talk about a big event that used to be here that hopefully is coming back, and he is part of a team that are putting that together. So I'm going to see if I can find him. No one has requested. That doesn't mean he isn't here to join us. He waved it. Joseph Silva. Oh, I'm glad you love the sound of the waves. I do too. All right, Fernando. Hopefully my connection is working well here. I'm here. Yay. Okay, Fernando, there's a little place where it says ask to join, and that makes it easy to find since there's lots of people that scroll through here. Matt from, I think, still Northern California. Is that where you are? Javier, I don't know if that's the Javier who's here in Sayulita. But request to join and then I can find you. Oh wait, there's all the people. Ah, there you are right there. I invite you to join. Come join me. It's kind of funny. I was going to try to be really cute and figure out a way that I could pretend I was somewhere else and then find him. Fernando!
All right. Well, I'm also
Muchas
new
gracias.
with this de nada. I'm new with this kind of technology, so,
it's working. It'll work. We're just going to have this conversation. It's kind of like a podcast, but I like that I can see you and we can talk to each other. Yeah. I was just saying I was going to try to do something really cute and start and be in the same room and then talk to you oh, he's actually here. Because we are in the same town. We're not far away from each other.
Well, yes, but it just happened that last night I got a call from my doctor to go to Mexico City to check my leg, that it's getting, it broke.
Yeah, I know. We're going to talk about that. I'm so sorry. I haven't seen you in person to say, I hope it heals well and fast. I saw the pictures on Instagram. Yikes. Pretty scary.
Yeah.
The surgery and everything. But let's back up first, because you've been a stand-up paddler and a waterman even longer than that, I'm sure. How long have you been stand-up paddling? Where did you first find it? Who'd you see?
I started stand-up paddle I think in 2010. It was in Sayulita. I was with Ryan Helm. I worked on the surf school, go away all day, every day on the water. And then he brought a couple paddleboards, and it was really fun on the small days. It was, because Sayulita is a place where you know, you get, it's like Malibu kind of like wave. It's like a soft point break,
Hmm.
and sometimes it gets really good for shortboarding, but sometimes it gets too small, like, and sometimes it's flat. You know, that's what we spearfish and we do all this stuff on flat water. But on the small days, everyone longboards because there's nothing else you can do. And then when paddleboard came in, it was more fun to paddleboard. Even it was paddleboard longboard back then, and then regular longboard. You know, so whenever the waves were small, we would choose like paddleboard was more fun. And then because you know it's like all the beach boys like that, whatever is fun you do, you know, and you
Yes.
adapt to the condition. If there is wind, you're gonna do something with wind. If there is waves, you do something with waves. If there's no waves, you do something with no waves. And we have no winds, so we didn't like Sayulita. No one picked up the wind sport because it's not windy enough. But paddling came in perfectly. It was a perfect suit for the town, for the Sayulita boys. You know, the beach boys. They're there, and everyone accepts pretty much any kind of surf sport that there is. And then from there was the Punta Sayulita, that classic event that made, well, the pretty much made us all fall in love with the sport and with the community because I mean, from the first year we had, I mean, Candice, for example, was one of the main players there, and Anthony Vela. She left. She left on the race boards. She was the first person to leave race boards there. Then
Mm.
we were like, wow, super excited, and the whole community was training on them, and that sparked the opportunity for us to go do other events in the States, in California. And then from there, well, I personally saw there was an opportunity to continue doing that. Stand-up paddling. Now that I look back at it, it, it was a great opportunity for me to travel. I always loved traveling. From my parents, that they travel around the world. Then I noticed I still have that little spine of traveling and getting to know new places and new people. And stand-up paddling, that's what it was. It was a tool that opened the doors for me to be able to travel the world and meet great people. And I loved it. Right, I loved doing the sport. I loved the traveling. So I took advantage of that, and then became, you know, whatever it became.
A champion. Come on, you can say it. Don't be too humble. You were very top of the sport very early, and it was so great to get to meet you. I did get to come down to a Sayulita Classic when they had that, and we're going
It's
to talk
fun.
some more about bringing it back. That's super
Yes.
exciting. But I
Yes.
love
Yes.
so much that you here as watermen do embrace everything, because I have to say in some places surfing, it's not my favorite part that they don't look at stand up, that stand up paddling's not really surfing. But if you're truly love the water, don't you want to be on it, as you just said, whatever the day, whatever the craft, underwater, above water? And you definitely do all of that for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you've gotten into other things too, and I know you were a surfer even before. So let's talk about like Tahiti. Were you down there for a whole year? You brought your lovely little family.
I was there for about 2 years.
2 years.
I was training for the Pan American Games. I went like a year before. Yeah, 2019, something like that. I think I went all of 2019 to train, and then we did the Pan American Games. And then I stayed until, well, the pandemic got me, and there was no way to leave the Tahiti.
Mm.
And then just in the beginning of 2021, I went back to Sayulita and started. I mean, Tahiti is a beautiful place, but on a pandemic with no planes coming in and out, it was hard. It was hard to it was
I'll
hard to
bet.
surf perfect waves alone every day. At some you're like, okay, I need the real stress on a surf session. No, I'm kidding. Eh,
I don't
but
think you're going to
yes,
get too much pity on that one. The surfing alone, perfect Tahiti waves.
hey, it's not easy. Like, go surf one of those waves. Like, I remember going to Tiaupo, like, shoes with a friend, and
Yeah,
being like, like a little bit overhead high, and we're like, great, it's all for ourselves. How great! And then you get caught by a set, and get washed, and you're like, you know what? Let's just come back another day where there's more, more people
More
out
people.
here,
Yeah.
because when you're alone and like it's hard to gauge where you are sitting, and
Hmm.
then it's not fun to get a set get you, not at all. So I've been a few sessions where you go out, you're all excited, and then you get caught, and you're like, you know what? I'm out of here. Come back
Yeah.
whenever the locals are here, so I can
I have
like piggyback on their good
That is,
positioning.
yeah, I have to say that's one of the most beautiful, but also the scariest waves ever, just because it looks like the whole ocean is coming over.
Yeah, no, it's a very tricky wave. It's amazing. The feeling you get from it, it's incredible. But it has a very particular thing. It is the angle. The way I see it, whenever you're sitting on the line, you're like, oh, you gotta catch the wave right here for you to get a nice barrel. You're like, okay, and then the wave comes. You're like, oh, all right, let's go. And then you're paddling to get in, and then you look down the line, and it looks like a closeout. Like it's a closeout. Like your instinct of like, oh, I should be sitting like 50 feet that way. Like there's where I should be. Like like here's a closeout. It's pointless for me to be here. And then you back out, and that's what a lot of people do. But then the guy that was paddling right next to you goes and it got an amazing barrel. You're like, oh, it was the spot. So at some point you should go for it, and you stop being scared of getting washed over the reef, and every now and then you actually get a good barrel. No, but it's the fact that the wave curves, and that the barrel's so wide that you have more time to travel inside the barrel, and then the curves, and when it curves, it gets closer to you faster than a normal way, right? Like that curve plays something weird, and then the size of the barrel, like how hollow it is, you can be really deep and still be traveling. And then when that curve hits, it slows the wave down and it gives you time to get up. So
Ah,
that's a little bit like how I saw it, and then you just gotta go for it. But it's definitely worth it. It's amazing,
it is a,
and
yeah.
yeah,
And how special it's going to be the place for France to have the Olympics. Is that right? Chopu,
yeah, yeah.
Tiapu, or however you pronounce it?
2024. So in 3 years, we're gonna
Hmm.
have the Olympics in Tahiti, and I mean they're gonna be amazing. We already have, I mean, world class shortboard events there. So we have, so we're gonna see some. I think they're doing it there because the iconic wave, how it looks, and if people gonna see an Olympic, they want to see like that amazing wave, like right, like for the photo kind of poster.
Yeah.
Obviously we don't gonna be seeing high end maneuvers because it's not a wave of high end maneuvers. It's a wave of like, you know, get the right wave, get deep, get that amazing barrel, you know. But but maybe this is the moment to start seeing people do crazy stuff in a wave that we're only expected to see barrels, right? We might
Mm,
be seeing airs, we might be seeing combination of stuff,
wow.
and that would be amazing. So I definitely look forward, because even though the Olympics are not, the epitome on surfing like other sports, it is the top thing on surfing. We have the world tour, but I think still Olympics gonna be a thing that people gonna really push, and all those pros gonna work really hard to make sure to put a name for themselves out there. So I look forward to see it in person, because I'm definitely planning to be there, and and see what, how it helps the sport grow,
Yeah.
how surfing grows with that.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to stand up and the years that you were traveling a lot. So I know you lost your mother too young and she was Costa Rican. I don't remember your father. Did you grow up in Sayulita?
No, my father's the one from Costa Rica, or was the one. He
Oh,
passed away too. And my mom was Brazilian. My father died when
Brazil.
I was much younger, so I travel, and with my mom.
With, hmm.
And then yeah, she passed away. It was on 2012. It was the first year when it was like the beginning when I was like being professional, right? Like before
Hmm.
that, I was doing it, getting a name for myself. That was the first year that I was doing well, and
That was the year
and
you won the WPA
yes,
championship in
yes, he
Las
already
Vegas.
passed away.
Vegas. Mm.
Yeah, I was. Hold on, I gotta get
I know. I'm sorry. It was really hard. I don't
Uh,
mean to bring that up. Yeah.
but yeah, it was obviously it was a very,
Hmm.
I guess important
Emotional.
year because, well, for one, yes, she passed away, but it was a moment that I had to take a decision where, like, I give up and kind of give in to the pain and the suffering and, like, poor me kind of lifestyle, or you work harder because I only have my mom. I only had my mom. I didn't have more family, and obviously work harder. And it's the decision I took because she already. It was weird because she already was like, oh, you're, because I have won international races by then, and she was already like, oh, like, you're world champion. I'm like, I'm not. I win something very good and very big, but it wasn't a world championship. And then she passed away, and then I won the WPA. That was the world championship of paddleboarding back then. Now it changed names, but it was a big deal. It was a world championship, and then I won it. So, like, she passed away knowing everything that I was going to accomplish, and happy that I turned out to be what she, I guess, hoped.
Yeah.
And so, she didn't miss out on the fact that I became, world champion, or, an elite athlete and all that. She knew it. So for that way, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was her moment. I made peace with it, and then from there, it started a very busy career on paddleboarding. With a whole group of young guys that were, like, very dedicated to the sport. Shoes on the moment when the industry was booming on stand-up paddling,
Hmm.
right? Like, it was the number one growing water sport at the moment. So there was, like, sponsors, there was races, there was, like, my race count. There was, like, 18 international races a year from, Europe and everywhere in the world. So it was good moments. I learn a lot. Even from the coaches, from the teammates, from everyone. Like, get to meet amazing people, meet iconic people. Like, I remember the first time I saw, uh, you know, well, there were so many, but for example, Larry Hamilton and uh, uh, Dave
Kylan?
Kalama,
Yes,
for
sir.
example.
Dave
Like,
Kalama.
they
Yeah.
were like teams. They were like the Beach Boys of Hawaii, like
Right.
what
Hmm.
we were, like, always playing on the ocean, always having fun, and creating paddleboarding, creating foiling, creating all these amazing sports because they were just like, what can we do to have fun on the water? And then, like, meeting these legends that created your sport, big, and so many sports that we enjoy doing. It was incredible, right? Like, it felt from another world because coming from Mexico, we're disconnected from that industry. And I mean, so many legends that it was amazing.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing ride, an amazing experience. And now, well, now definitely with a broken leg, I guess I'm in a different stage in my life.
Yeah.
And with the pandemic, that a lot of stuff shut down. Yeah,
Well,
but yeah.
on many regards, things are going to come back and get better. So let's talk about, was it an accident? What happened with your leg? And it sounds like it was a really awful break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. I was called to do a reality show for Mexico. It's called Exathlon. It's one of the biggest reality shows. It's the biggest reality show in Mexico, and one of just the biggest TV, uh, I guess, shows overall in Mexico. That is really cool. I didn't know they were that big. Like, I think they're the second most watched thing in Mexican TV,
Wow.
right? Like, there is a soap opera is
Telenovelas,
number
right?
one.
See.
Like, there is a soap opera, but after the soap opera is this reality
Wow.
sport, and it's all athletes, right? They have, like, Olympic athletes, they have national champions, they have all these international champions. Well, I guess, these Mexican champions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Compete on this like between Ninja Warrior and Survivor kind of thing, you know, very unique. And you're obviously disconnected. And if you don't win, your team sleeps on a tent. And if you win, you get to go to the mansion and have good food. And but it's a long show. It was 8 months of
Mm.
filming. I was only there for like 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. I had seen in your Instagram like Team Fernando and all the stuff leading up to
Yeah,
it, but I didn't
yeah.
realize it.
And then I didn't see one of the obstacles. It was at night, you know, and I just didn't see one of the bars I had to jump over. So I ran. I had to push
Mm.
something on top, and then I just kicked it. I was running full speed, like I was like just building up speed again to sprint, and then I didn't see it, and I just kicked it full force,
Oh.
and well, it snapped. You know, it broke like tibia and peroné, so the two main bones on the chin,
Ah,
and then it was. I knew right away it broke,
yeah.
but for example, I think all athletes have a special relationship with pain, but that was one of the things. You know, I didn't like before I became like I got to be on kind of on the tour. I didn't get any coaching. I didn't have any advice or anything. And one of the things I remember, like first things, it was someone talking about pain and how,
Mm.
you know, for example, they were talking about the runners, the marathon runners in Africa. I think it's Kenya. That a lot of people say that they're the best marathon runners because they run to school and back, right? And someone's like, no, because the ritual for them to become teenagers or adults is a very painful ritual, and their pain tolerance it's much higher than
Mm.
an average person. So that's why they can endure all those hard trainings and those marathons and all that
Oh,
because their pain endurance is higher. And it pretty
interesting.
much said like, you know, if you can endure more pain, then you have the potential to become a better athlete. So every time I like would hit something or caught or anything like that, I would be like, it's the pain helps me grow. I gotta be a better athlete. And in this case, it was like that. I was like, you know, can I control it? And I did. And you can see the videos because I was on national TV. And I didn't cry. I didn't whine. I didn't
Ah,
put any like I just controlled the pain. I was very proud of myself that I managed to like, you know, overtake one of the biggest, I guess, pains, you know, and and then well, I got taken to Mexico City for operation. We got it got infected the first
oh, I'm
operation,
sorry.
so they
Oh.
had to take all the metals out. I know. You know what? It was crazy. The operation it was crazy. First
Yeah.
thing, they operate me, you know, and I'm half awake, so I can still I'm awake, but
Ah.
I don't just feel the bottom. So I don't feel the pain, but I'm awake. But I can hear them drilling and
Mm.
nailing and like, you know, doing all the like janking my leg, and then they put me a bump of like I think it was morphine or something. That way, when the anesthesia goes away, the pain it will be controlled.
Mm.
When they moved me to my bed, the pump got disconnected. So
Oh
when the
my gosh,
anesthesia
Nando.
left, I felt all the pain from the operation, and I kept telling the doctors, "It's not working, right? Like I have to, like it's crazy amount of pain now. It's
Mhm.
way worse than when I broke it because they just drilled through it with like 12 hole like drills and nails and like and and I was like, this thing is not working. This pump you gave me is not working. This pain is not blah blah blah. They didn't do anything for like 3.5 hours. They couldn't
Oh.
because they couldn't see. They said no, it is working. It is. It was not until next day when the doctor that did the operation came and checked. And it's like, oh look, your pump got disconnected when at some point, and I was like, oh, but you know what? Eh,
You survived it. That is just amazing. And I'm
that
so
was
sorry it was not with infection and a bad
yeah.
surgery. Oh.
And after that, then it got infected, and I was like, no. So they had to do another one. And then today, I just got told that the bars of the second got loose, so they should operate again.
Oh no, I'm so
And
sorry. Mm.
I'm definitely not happy. And I'm right now. I'm just in
You're,
front of the hospital.
oh, you are?
Uh,
I thought you were in your shop, maybe. Oh my
no,
gosh. So
no,
you're
no.
in
I'm in Salt
shock.
Mexico City. Like here's the
Oh,
hospital. I'm like on the coffee shop of the hospital. Um, and yeah. So now I need to decide. So I gotta wait 3 more weeks with the boots and no movement, like no walking, nothing, just to see if the bone starts building up because there's movement and because it's loose, like the bone is moving. I don't know how to make it,
oof.
but it's moving.
Totally.
Like
Yeah.
the two pieces are
Yeah.
moving.
They haven't fused
Yeah, and
together
they
yet.
move constantly, so they can't get it solid. So they say another operation or choose zero mobility. So I'm gonna go with zero mobility because I,
Yeah.
had bad experience with the operation, and then we see in 3 weeks how it is, and then we take a decision from there. But
Okay.
that means I'm gonna be have a lot more time to be thinking and doing stuff outside the water.
Yeah, I know that's
And
not your style. You're an athlete and you're used to being
yeah,
active, but please, all of us listening are going to send you some good energy to try to hold still for 3 weeks and let your bones fuse. I did not realize it was that bad. I'm so sorry.
yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, now I have to choose. Come up with more projects for me to stay busy on the house and not, you know, doing paperwork. Send me all the
Yes.
paperwork.
Yes. Well, let's talk about some of those projects. I'm sorry to leave this, but we send you healing and hopefully it will get better. But you do have good projects coming up that maybe you can spend some time on. You're
Yeah,
going to have a surf contest really soon. And then the one I'm most excited about is March.
yeah.
Hopefully, there will be a Sayulita SUP event again, March 13th through 15th, right? Tell us what
12
you
and
know so
13.
far. Yeah,
12 or 10 tier. 12 and 13th. Yeah, Saturday, Sunday. So, yes, right now we did a new structure of the surf club. Sayulita Surf Club is it's the biggest and I think it's the only, yeah, it's the main surf club in Mexico, right? We're the ones that are like, most registered, more organized, and all that. But for a few years, it was kind of like, pandemic, all that, not pushing us hard. And now we did a new like we just got together again, and we're pushing again as a surf club to push events, to do all that, and we divided in different branches, right? There's the longboard branch group of guys, there's the paddleboard guys, there's the shortboarders, there's the juniors. So each of those guys, they are involved on creating those events and keeping their sport alive, right? And some friends are doing the longboard. They asked for some help. I'm helping. That is coming on December 9 to 11 is the December longboard event. And then in March I propose to do the get back alive, because for so many years we had in March the Punta Sayulita Classic, and we want to bring it back. And everyone's excited, right? Like Punta Sayulita was the main sponsor. They're also on board. They said yes, we are
great.
on board, and the same community of paddle boarders are ready to help promote it and just make sure it happens. And then yeah, and everyone, like that event created so many opportunities for local athletes like us. It created the name for Sayulita, to a great community. The paddleboarding is a great community. The town is very appreciative of the people of that community to come as tourists, as visitors, right?
Mhm.
So also the local businesses are very happy to support paddleboarding because we're a good community. People like us. They want us to go places. They always want to host us. So we have on board hotels on board. They're gonna be the host hotels. I don't know, hotel sede. I don't know how you say it in English. And And yeah, I'm very excited. I'm looking forward. We're just the idea started like not long ago in one of the meeting, and we're just moving forward with sponsorships, with designing and all that. But yeah, I'm excited to have everyone come over again. I gotta send more invites to the rest of the athletes, and yeah,
Great.
we're
Well,
gonna have
yeah.
yeah. So what we're gonna do is just for people that haven't been to the Punta Sayulita Classic, or it's it's a surf. We're gonna have a stand-up paddle surfing. We're gonna have guys and girls. We're gonna have a distance race that is 10Ks. We're gonna have an elite race that is like in and out, like a technical race, like doing
In the
little
way.
laps, like catching little surf and out. And then it won't be as crazy as the battle of the paddle, because technically, like if you paddle towards the point, you're able to catch a nice wave from the point and then paddle out through the channel. So you don't have to deal with the waves on your face that much. That it's a little easier for. It's fun. You only get the fun part. Get to surf and not to get your ass kicked by the waves. Eh, and then that's a 4K technical race. And then we're gonna have a fun race that is a 2K race for everyone that wants to paddle with with their kids on the board, with a dog, just for fun, a first timer on flat water, a beautiful view, a
Mm.
beautiful paddle. So that's what the Punta Sayulita had. That's what we want to do again. And I think everyone can find a event, a race, or something to do on that event, and it brings a lot of different, like even the paddleboard community has the different branches, right? You have the sub surfers, you have
Yeah.
the distance racers, you have the technical racers, the downwinders, the recreational paddlers that love the industry, but they can't do a Salt Creek paddleboard race because, well, it was really hard and dangerous. But this event will have I
Yes.
think a race for everyone. And then Sayulita, it's amazing. I don't know, like I mean, we had the ISA World Championships there, and
Mm-hmm.
it was the best ISA World Championship because of how the town is set up.
Mm-hmm.
Sayulita town is like the Olympic Villa. Like when you go to the Olympics and they have the Olympic villas, that I got to be on the Olympic Villa on the Pan American Games. That was
Yeah.
amazing. It has that because the town is so small. It's like all right there. You have all the athletes and all the teams staying like in there. Like you see them. You go out to have a coffee and you see all the other athletes just walking around. Like it's a one big house. So
Yes.
the town is so small that you don't need cars. You should just go and walk to the beach. There's
You
one
can't.
block to the beach and
Yeah.
one block to the taco place and one block to the stores and to the bar. Like it's one block everything, and it's fun. So it's very easy. It's very easy as a visitor to come.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't need to pretty much organization. There's not much to do, and if you're wondering, you can. I tell you,
And
get
yes,
a
and although
ticket to Puerto Vallarta.
yes, you fly to
Fly
Puerto
to Puerto
Vallarta, which is
Vallarta, and
short
then from
drive.
there you can get a taxi to take you to Sayulita, and
Mm-hmm.
taxis are prepared to take boards and paddle boards because it's a surf area, so
Mm-hmm.
they're very used to it. And then as soon as you get to Sayulita, you can you coordinate with me obviously, and to store if your hotel, normally the hotels have storage for your boards and they're one block from the beach, so you don't need really much. After that,
Yeah.
you're good. No car rental, no nothing. Just get to Sayulita and the rest is good. If you want to go surf some other spot, then I guess you can jump on my truck and go surf some other spots. But um,
Definitely
yeah,
something for everyone here, both your race and this beautiful town in a bay. I mean, you hit all the important points that there's surf, but there's also a channel. There's also, we, the group that I have down here took their beginning surf lesson. And actually, my friend Lynn Ann took surfing from you 2 years ago, who's listening right now. But
right.
everybody stood up. They were all so excited because it's a perfect place to learn to surf with small waves way over on the side, but bigger waves over here. Of course, Mother Ocean changes all the time. The water is warm.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of, yeah, that's good stuff. And also, like, I feel that a lot of places that have like amazing surf, for example, don't have an infrastructure outside the water. You know, like you go some places like Tahiti, for example, it's amazing surf, but you finish your surf session and you're hungry and there's nowhere to eat. You're like, oh, you know, like there's nowhere to have, drink a beer, or like
Yeah.
it's like there's Sayulita has that. Sayulita has like good restaurants, bars, boutiques. So even if you go with your family and you're surfing all day, your family can be like, you know, say your wife, you know, she
Hmm.
can have a great time when she's, let's say she doesn't want to surf for 10 hours in a row. She can go have a good time in town, you know?
Yes.
And that's, I think, a thing that you see a lot on this, on the surfer relationship. The surfer, the surfer want to be in a surf place, and then the rest of the family, you know, is like, well, what are we gonna do? And Sailita has that, you know, has beautiful places to
Hmm.
eat, to shop, to hang out, to visit beaches, hikes, that you know, that the surfer can stay surfing all day,
Yeah.
and then the other people can go
Horses
have some
just went
fun.
by on the beach. You know, there's so many things to do here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, I think it's a very good balance between everything.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I wish you luck. We can't wait to hear more. So get that logo going so we can start posting and sharing. I've already told some people about it. Yeah, I was lucky to have been to the early one, but some people haven't. I think it's a great time. I mean, hopefully we're getting out of this pandemic and things will open up even more. We know there's a lot of new paddlers who are looking for this, like the next level. And like you said, you're going to have races for everybody,
Yeah,
or just to watch. This is a great place to come and be a
yeah.
part of the SUP
You
community,
know,
and even just,
yeah, of course. That, yeah, this is a place that if you're not racing or competing, you're still gonna have a great time because outside of the water is still a great place to be.
hmm,
So, yes, they're
yeah,
gonna be good. I hope
absolutely.
to see everyone there. You
Hmm.
know.
So, you've had this unfortunate accident. You're going to be healing out of it. We're all wishing you the best of luck, of course, and we want you back in and on the water and doing the stand up and running this event and all. Um, I want to hear more about, because I always think of you, you're a model too, and iconic pictures of you like spearfishing off of the board. I mean, the stand up paddleboard really is a useful tool. So, besides being a champion racer, I feel like you actually do use it, don't you, in other ways? Like, I don't know. How old is your little one now, your little girl?
She's
Does
gonna
she go
turn
out on the board?
5. Yeah, she's gonna
She's
turn
5
5.
already. Oh, wow. Growing up. Yeah. I think
Yeah,
last time I saw your whole, wife and daughter was Shelby and Beecho's wedding down here. So I don't think I've seen you
uh,
since then. Yeah. And
yeah,
she
yeah.
was
It's been a
lit. She
while.
was little. Yeah, that's been a few
Yeah,
years.
she grew. She grew.
I
Eh,
bet she did.
see, I mean, should, you went for a few questions. Should we
I
start
know. Sorry.
with usefulness on the paddleboard? How
Yeah.
useful a paddleboard is, and I mean,
I
you
know
know,
you're a
just
surfer, but on the days you can't surf.
but even as a surfer, you know, for example, paddleboarding opened the doors not just for these amazing other beaches and oceans around the world, but also like lakes and
Mm.
rivers. And some of my most fun events that I have done have been on the rivers. You know, the Payette River game, for example. We had so much fun there.
Hmm.
We were all day on the river playing on the rapids, like longer than we were like on the wave surfing. We were all day on those rivers because it was so much fun. So, you know, like it opens, paddleboarding does open the doors so much. You know, you can have fun and enjoy in a bigger range of places and conditions. You know, like if you have downwind, if it's windy and terrible, like stormy, like you look at the ocean like, oh, this ocean is terrible. There's nothing you can do. And you're like, downwinding, it's perfect. Let's go do a downwind. And
Hmm.
then you have a blast. If you're in the lakes, if you're in the rivers, and then if you're on the oceans, if you're taking your family, like Tahiti, for example, was like your transportation. You're much faster than a regular kayak. You can fit the things there, so you can take your your kid, your family, your stuff, and you move faster than a kayak, right? A kayak was the classic thing to have back then. And and on a paddleboard, you move faster, you're more agile, you see better the reef. And we were always like, hey, every day you jump on the water in Tahiti, you're every day on the water. And then boom, we will pass the channel and go to the reef, the little, shallow, beautiful reef with, with your kid, and you snorkel, you see the little fishes, and the board is tied to a rock or is following you because you pulled it with a leash. And I would take my daughter. I mean, I always did a lot of spearfishing and Sayulita and in Tahiti, like, deep spearfishing for big fish. And obviously paddleboarding is a very effective way for high-end spear, like serious spearfishing. It helped a lot. And because you don't need a boat, your match, it's just so practical. But then also like with Tahili, I will do it, and I did spearfishing with her. Like she will like hold onto my shoulder, and like we will go together. Like I actually have a couple videos of it, and in Instagram or in Facebook or somewhere. And then you get back on the board and paddle to an. It's just fast. It's easy. There's not the motor. You don't smell the gasoline when you jump on the water from like a regular motor. So no, paddleboarding been a great tool. It wasn't a thing. I don't think it's a thing that is like on fashion. A lot of people say or think, oh, it got on fashion. Everyone's on it because it was the cool thing to do. And then when it's not in fashion, people won't do it. No, I think paddleboarding it's just so efficient as a tool, and I'm very happy that it got the layer, and and Kalama got on it and got everyone hooked on it. Great, thanks
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. We'll be sure to thank them. Yeah. So you have done so many different things, but let's get maybe some tips from you, because people are just getting into stand up during this pandemic all around the world. People kind of discovered being outside is really a good thing to do when you're stuck in one place. And I don't know if you saw it so much here, but we definitely saw it in the US, and we've heard in Europe and places. Uh, how do we get people to the next level? And maybe for you, surfing, how do you get started SUP surfing?
Well, I started when the waves were small,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to take the choice between a longboard and a paddleboard, and a paddleboard was more fun. So we started paddleboarding, and then the Punta Sayulita came, and I signed up, and I was like, it fits, because like I was tall and stronger, and it's harder to be. I surf, I surf competitively shortboard, but not professionally, because well, the industry is not there, and also my size, it was harder, right? Like you can see most shortboarders normally they're a little smaller, shorter, more compact, but for my height, paddleboard surfing suit me much better because I could use more power, to move a bigger board. So my size and my strength helped my paddleboard surfing to the when it became more higher end, and that's how it started, just because it was fun.
And that word has come up a lot, and it is important when you come down to it. Even when we're trying to race and things, you need to enjoy what you do and love what you do, and you certainly do, and it comes out so well. So you, I know right now you aren't traveling. In fact, you're going to stay still for 3 weeks. But are there places in the world you haven't gotten to? You did get to travel quite a bit on the tour when it was. I know Rogue has been. I actually thought Rogue was gone, but they still, I think Rick is supporting you, maybe still, or was for a while.
Yeah, I always been involved with Rogue. They leased, I think it was a moment where they leased their brand to
Yeah.
Boardworks,
Hmm.
and now they got the lease ended, and and Rick, that is the owner of Boardworks, got
Kept it.
Boardwork. Rick is the owner of Rogue,
Rogue.
and he got Rogue back. Right, the
Hmm.
lease expired. Now Rogue is independent again, and
Hmm.
they're pushing. I think shoes launching again as an
Good.
independent brand, and will stay there. Yes, we have a guy. I still have a good relationship with Rogue, and obviously planning to get some more Rogue boards to Sayulita
Yeah.
and do stuff. Professionally, I'm not planning to compete professionally in a long time because, well, for
Hmm.
one, I have a broken leg, and and yeah, that's the main thing.
Well, and you have a 5-year-old right now, so parenting
Yeah,
sometimes it doesn't. Even
but
though she's traveled quite a bit, hasn't she, in her young life?
yes, but competing and being part of stand-up paddle events will always be something I want to do.
Hmm.
I think I always use a paddleboard, a race, an event as an excuse to go for a vacation. If you tell me, oh, it's yes, perfect excuse to go on a vacation. If you're not
Hmm.
going to win, right? There's moments where you're gonna choose to go to that place to win, but if not, it's fine. Like I still will go to any of those cool events, even if I'm not in top shape. I just know I'm not going to win. I'm going to have fun,
Hmm.
to see my friends, to see the community, and then enjoy. So I definitely will always, I think, be still competing on the sport and participating in events, not to gain points for the world ranking, but to have to because I enjoy them. You know,
Yeah.
and but that's gonna take a little while.
Yes. And that's
But yeah,
okay.
so
I know
yeah,
it's hard to be patient, but you need to give yourself, let your body fix yourself for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, and you were a champion and you got to be in the Pan Am Games, and that wasn't that long ago. So I hope you don't feel, even though, like you said, you'd still do it for fun. I think you might surprise yourself and still have some amazing wins in you still.
Like the truth is that also, like you see, we have what is it? Examples. We have friends, we have mentors that are on their, I don't know how old, like 50s, and
Hmm.
they are top level. They are the top paddlers of today. So that just shows you how, you know the age, it's not that big of a thing, you know because we have these guys. They're still super strong, super competitive, still winning. So it's only if you want to do it. Because it takes time. You gotta put time into the training if you want to do well. That's what I like. That's what I like of the racing part comparing to the surfing, right? That it's on surfing, it's a lot of chance. If you get the right wave, if pretty much is that. If you got the right wave, you have more chances of passing your heat. If the judges like your surfing, they're the ones choosing. On racing, it's not. It's like you finish the line first, you're a winner. And then if you train harder than the other person, then you probably will win. If you didn't, then it only meant you have to train more. Train harder, train better, train smarter. You got something to improve. And then you
Something.
do it, and then you go again, and then you notice you were better, and you notice you were faster. You're like, that's a great motivation. That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
And that was the main thing. Like when I was competing, I was just so excited to see that I was able to be a little bit faster, a little bit stronger every time. you know like every race I will be ahead of that one guy that was in front of me. I'd be like, yes, I beat the guy that beat me last race. It's a
Mhm.
great feeling, to be able to be on the pack. Be like, wow, I was able to hang, 3/4 of the race on the leading pack. That was amazing. I wish I can stay, to the end on the next race, and then you are able to. So it was never, the progression to become, a champion and one of the top. It wasn't right away. It wasn't like, oh, I want to be a champion and I want to be number one in the world. It was like, I wanna. I'm just having great. I was just enjoying so much to see a progression, a very clear way, very easy way to
Mhm.
see your progression, right? Like, okay, you work 2 hours a day, this is where you are. If you work 4 hours a day, here's
Mhm.
here's where you are. And you're like, okay, well, I want to be there, so that means 4 hours a day. Okay, well, let's do it. You know, and then it's like, okay, let's work 4 hours smart. because that was the other thing, you know. And then it's like, oh, that's how we need to train. And then, oh, I get better when I train that way. So it was a very cool thing to experience, to use your body, to see how, you know, how what you eat and what you do and your rest and your stretch, how all affects it. And and then you're always better a little bit. And I feel that's a great mentality to have in, you know, in a lot of things. Not just like, you know, what a lot of people say, don't focus on the others, focus on yourself, try to be better every day, better than you were
Mm-hmm.
the day before. And I remember that's what it really motivated me. It wasn't like, oh, I want to beat, you know, Connor or Kyle Lenny. No, I wanted just to be a little bit faster than the last race I did, and beat that one guy that was in front of me and be there. And at some point I was hanging out with you know, with the top paddlers. That was the main thing. Just be better, be stronger, be faster, be able to hang. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure we all experience this. Our first races, we're halfway through the race, and you're going, "What am I doing here? This is so bad, so painful. Like your body just want to give up. You're like looking, where's that boat to pick me up? Like you're just so ready to give up, and and then after you overcome that. You learn to enjoy it, and your body just gets used to it. You know. And then I remember being amazed, like, oh, I'm doing the 10Ks strong, like, because you're paddling strong for 10Ks or 20Ks or whatever the distance are, and you're able to do it, and you still can pull some sprints in the mid between that to get position. I was like, wow, we got so much better. I was so happy to see my body able to maintain such a speed. Because when I started, it was like, even though you're strong and you look strong and you are strong and you could be fit, but it's a different, you know, it's very particular
Mm-hmm.
to be an endurance athlete. I was so happy to be like, wow, I'm able to do this, or running, because also, you know, we did a lot of running just for the training. Be to run at a pretty solid speed for so long. I was like, wow, you know, I can run for hours without getting tired, or paddle for hours without getting tired. It was really cool to see what your body can accomplish, right? And now I'm trying hard, not to be, you know, sad.
Yeah, well, you're in a tough spot right now, so it's okay.
But the
Be you.
idea is to always be improving yourself, right? So even
Mm-hmm.
now that I don't have, you know, my body to improve, that I can improve physically, you know, I still have so much to improve, and, you know, and things to learn. There's so much to learn in this life. That I had to, is a great opportunity for me to learn things in life that I didn't give a priority, or, like, you know, the time wasn't there, or I had,
Yeah.
you know, I was competing. That was the main thing. So learning another art, like, you know, take this Peloton physical, you know, break to you know, to do other things, to do the things I never had time to do, that I always wish I could do, but I never had time. I couldn't, because I was, you know, training or traveling or doing other stuff. So I think this is the moment, and ideally, you know, every day I will learn something new. Every day I will be happy that I, you know, did something new, like learn, because that's the only thing I can do
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah. Well, what
You
a great
know?
attitude to have. Well, putting on this event and being part of that. There's another thing too that I know nothing about, but I think it's something new you're learning. You said you're going to get your Sayulita Surf Club into crypto coin, or I don't even know what that is. Is that
Yeah,
something new you're
yeah,
learning?
yes, that's something I'm right
I've
now
heard of it. I
very
just don't know how it works.
well. I mean, this is the thing. I'm gonna get into a lot of people are gonna be bored out of this. No, but, like, you know, we all heard of cryptocurrency, and we know that a lot of people are making a lot of money on it. And you have to have some money in crypto. You know, you want to be in Bitcoin because you can make a lot of money on it. So we all heard it, but I don't know if you have any cryptos in your, you know.
I don't, but I'm sure somebody in my family does.
eh,
But we only have a few minutes, so you're not going to have to. I know it's a little
oh,
bit hard to
but yeah,
explain.
but the idea is we wanna kind of get a Sayulita coin. We want to get a crypto olas That way people can
Oh,
use it
yeah.
to interact. There's gonna be a way to interact in Sayulita between the community. You
Oh, I
know,
love that. Yeah.
the surf club gonna pull it out. They're
Hmm.
gonna give it to the members, and then you can use it on locally on the stores and stuff like that. As used as a between the community of surfers. That's kind of like how it will be the birth of it, and
I love it.
it will teach the community, the locals about it, and it will open a door to make it really easy, really simple for them to actually at some point could also invest in crypto, right? Because we don't know, and it's so hard to really be to learn on it. So that's a little bit like I want to learn myself and teach our community how to also be involved in crypto and have our own coin and be independent and have our own thing. I think it's gonna be really cool. I'm really excited.
I
So
like it. Crypto olas. Well, maybe in March we'll get to learn even more about it.
yeah,
Maybe it will
well,
be
I guess
launched.
everyone that signs up for the competition, because you gotta pay cash, they're gonna be a
Hmm.
stable coin. So it's 1-to-1. It will never change. It won't fluctuate like crypto and the other one, like Bitcoin and them. It's gonna be a stable coin to the peso. So when you pay your inscription, you're gonna get the coins back, and then you can use them on the town to buy whatever you want.
Well,
You
you
know?
are very busy doing new things and your new
Yeah.
shop. And we do have to wrap up by the top of the hour, but I have to show your beautiful Sayulita.
Yep.
This is the
There it
bay
is.
back there. It is one of the most gorgeous places on earth. Waves, warm, warm,
Yeah.
tropical, beautiful place. So
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sure,
Yes.
I know you're in Mexico City right now, but I'm sure you're looking forward to getting back and healing up.
I can show you the
Um,
smog if you want of Mexico City. See the sky?
oh, yes, it's a huge city. Although there's some great places in Mexico City too. That's a
Yeah.
great city. So many great places in Mexico, but yes, Sayulita has a special place in our hearts and super excited. Hopefully a lot of you listening will look into coming down in the middle of March. Are you going to call it the Sayulita Classic or
It's
or
gonna be,
deciding on the name?
yeah, no, it's gonna be the Punta Sayulita Sub Open.
Sup Open. Okay,
Yeah,
Punta Sayulita Sup Open.
the Sub
Well,
Open. Yeah, I
can't
put it
wait
on
to hear
rotation
more
between
about it.
the. Yeah, we put it on rotation to the boys, the oldest suppers in Sayulita.
Good. It
You
sounds like
know,
you have a good crew working on it.
yes. So we're excited. I'm happy to have all the friends back. That's the main reason we're doing the event. So all our paddleboard friends have an excuse to come to Sayulita and hang out. Because they're also
There you go.
waiting for that excuse. They're like, if there was an event, I will go. Because, when you're on the tour, you're professional, but you only travel for events.
Yeah,
So that's gonna be our excuse to have all our friends over. You
there
know?
you go. So if you've been here, you know this is an amazing place and you want to come back. And if you haven't, this is a great place to come. And I mean, you
Yeah.
outlined so many great things about it. Like that's such a long list. So I can't wait to see you in March since I probably won't get to see you. Leaving tomorrow. Had an amazing week here. Thank you so much for taking the time, Nando. And everybody's wishing you well. Heal up. Hoping that
Gracias.
it's
Muchas gracias.
just holding still for 3 weeks, which I know is hard, but try.
Well, 3 weeks is the beginning, and if things are looking good, then it's another 6 months. But we start with 3 weeks, 3 weeks at a time. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, we'll all help push you around in a wheelchair, whatever you need in March.
Yeah, I
Still
will
be the
figure it
king
out.
of the show. Yeah. Great. Well, thank you so much
Okay.
for joining us. Take care, my friend.
All
And
right.
remember,
Adios.
everybody, this is recorded. And so it's right away on SupConnect's IGTV, but then it will be on YouTube, both SupConnect and mine, which is KT Outside. And we also have a little Facebook group. You gave me some great pictures. If it's okay, I'll put some more pictures of Fernando and all the things we talked about in Tahiti. And
All right. All right.
is that okay?
We'll make sure to share it. Yes.
Okay.
It's all good.
Thank you so much.
All
All
right.
righty. Take care,
Bye.
Fernando. Bye.